about. Are you interested in warming things up in the bedroom? Kinky candles are blended wax play candles. Our candles are carefully designed and fragranced with an aphrodisiac to ensure your pleasure is taken to new temperatures. To get started with a drip, drop, splat, or pour, give us a call. 079-461-6001. That's Kinky Candles on 079-461-6001.
Sometimes we're looking for the more, but we just don't know what the more is. And then we come to play with me. 3 words, like me, play, toys, fun, games, cheekiness, with, intimacy, connection, relationships, and finally me. It starts with self, and that is something that Play With Me stands for. Play With Me is a place where you have an experience of all of those things. One complete cycle. You're welcome to pop in at our shop at the Gantry in Fourways, or find us at www.playwithme.co.za. If you're looking for that more, please get in touch.
We can fight our desires. But when we start making fires, we get ever so hot. Whether we like it or not. They say we can love who we just. But what is love without lust? Two hearts with accurate devotions. What are feelings without emotions? I'm going in for the kill. I'm doing it for a thrill. Oh, I'm hoping you will understand. And now let go of my hand. And now let go of my hand. And now let go of my I'm going in for the kill. I'm doing it for a thrill. Oh, I'm hoping you will understand. And now let go of my hand. I'm going in for the kill. I'm doing it for a thrill. Oh, I'm hoping you will understand. And now let go of my hand. I hang my hopes out on the line. Will they be ready for you in time? If you leave them out too long, they'll be withered by the sun. Full stops and exclamation marks. My words stumble before I start. How far can you send emotions? Can this reach across the ocean? I'm going in for the kill. I'm doing it for a thrill. Oh, I'm hoping you will understand. And now let go of my in for the kill. I'm doing it for a thrill. Oh, I'm hoping you will
The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent or that of the program, its presenters, hosts, directors, or other team members.
This show is intended for audiences aged 23 and older. This production and its digital copies contain content of an adult nature. If you are easily offended or are under the age of 18, this show is not intended for you. The posts, pages, and recordings within are intended for adults only and may include descriptions of scenes of sexual content, suggestive opinions, detailed discussions, and graphic topics. Listener discretion is advised.
Passionate pollies and sultry swingers, it's time for Lola's Lifestyle Lectures on your favorite seduction station, Lust FM, for the lustful listeners.
Good evening, lustfuls. Welcome to the second episode of the second season of Lifestyle Lectures, your favorite nighttime talk focused on education and guidance to help you navigate swinging and ethical non-monogamy. I'd like to start off by mentioning our association endorsement site, Z Nights. The Z Nights website has combined socials, events, parties, and workshops for all walks of life and like-minded individuals. Zenites is a quality South African community of unique, fun, uninhibited people who enjoy life to the fullest, who are into casual dating, social networking, open relationships, and alternative lifestyles. With an extensive amount of social platforms for adults to connect on, Zenite makes finding quality connections easy, affordable, and accessible. If you'd like to join the Zenites community, head on over to www.znights.com to explore countless possibilities. Then, of course, Lola's favorite friends at the COF, the Council of Fantasy. The Council of Fantasy is a lifestyle-oriented community catering for BDSM, lifestylers, and everybody that's somewhere in between, hosting events in all spectrums in a safe, sane, and consensual way. We're an inclusive community, and the only shame we shame is shame itself. One of the main focuses of the COF is education. Lola loves education. Yes, yes. We educate from BDSM all the way to sex positivity. I mean, there's women empowerment. You name it, we've got it. If you want to name it and we don't got it, it's okay, honey. We'll create it. You guys can find it at www.counciloffantasy.co.za, or alternatively, Lola's favorite option, go to Lola's website, www.lelust, yes, Lelovely's double L, www.lelustfm.live. Find on the homepage right at the bottom, you'll find a WhatsApp icon. Click on that icon and come and join us on the WhatsApp community. Your Lola Blakely production moderators this evening are sorry, Chance Encounters. This is a closed episode, unfortunately, so we won't be having other call-ins this evening. Anyway, getting back to my prompt, your Lola Blakely production moderators for this evening are Big Red, Zane, and then, of course, our whip-cracking production manager, Medusa, is also online, making sure we stay in check. If you guys see them in the chat, say hi. They're here to engage with our listeners. Keep us safe during the airing. Feel free to ask them questions. Send them a wave. Tonight's episode is titled Let's Swing Back to the Start, as we explore how to do it successfully with our guest tonight, the PsycHOTic Wife. I absolutely love that name, by the way. And also, let's not forget James. James is sitting ever so quietly in the corner. Hi, James. James, we can't hear you, James. Is your screen black? Everything was fine when we had sound check. And now James comes on and no, we can't hear James. And we love James's voice. So while James gets that sorted out, right, I'm gonna quickly read the intro. Carmen says, our favorite voice. Hi, James. Carmen loves James's voice. Okay, so let's quickly get to the guest, but I'd really love to say hi to James. So if he's there, I mean, if he's going to come back, then that would be great too. Tonight's episode, like I said, is titled Let's Swing Back to the Start, and helping us navigate this episode this evening is Miss P. Miss P, or also known as the PsycHOTic Wife, turned swinger. She's an ordinary wife turned swinger with 15 years of experience, and as an ambassador of Club Rome, she's gained invaluable insights on how to swing successfully. She's your average girl next door. She's your average girl next door. As you walk past her in the mall, she's the mother picking up her kids at school, but she's also got a naughty little secret. She is the PsycHOTic Wife, or the PsycHOTic Hot Wife. I mean, that's very interesting. She's been a part of the lifestyle for many years. During this time, her and her husband went from being newbies in the lifestyle to where they are today, stronger together in this amazing journey. They've made mistakes, but they've also grown because of them and how they approach them. She's learned that communication with your partner is key to a successful swinging lifestyle, and she strongly believes that rules that you and your partner make should always be followed regardless of the situation. She's got her own website and her own blog, and she loves giving advice and guidance to new couples, sharing her adventures with others already in the lifestyle. For her, it's important to make clear that she was a normal person, just like everyone else. She's passionate about sharing her stories, insights, and adventures with others who are curious or already part of this vibrant community through her website. So you guys can go and check out her blog. Good evening, Miss P. How are you this evening? James, we still can't hear you. You're going to have to go out of the room and come back into the room. And then we can possibly... He's rolling his eyes at me. You're aiming for a caning, I see. The PsycHOTic Wife, Miss P. Good evening and welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, thank you for having me.
You look very excited. Are you excited?
Excited, nervous, same.
Slightly nervous. That's okay. Look, as soon as we into it, like for the next 5 minutes, then you're not going to be nervous anymore. Let's just say hello to my co-host. Co-host, we still can't hear you. What have you done? You've broken it. It's okay, co-host. You take your time, James. Look, it's been a long week for James. James has Mrs. Chisholm is extremely sick. She nearly went to a hospital this week. So I mean, they've had a week themselves, and they're still here. They're still doing the airing. They're still bringing like the A game, and they're still trying their best to fix this shit. But we're gonna go back to the PsycHOTic Wife. Miss P, tell us a little bit about your journey and where you started and how you became to be a hot wife. I mean, a hot wife is quite an interesting concept, right?
It is. Before I start, I just wanted to quickly make a correction. I'm an
Yes.
ambassador at Club Amsterdam, not Rome.
What did I say?
Rome.
I said Rome.
Yes.
How did I read Rome? I'm so sorry.
Quickly wanted to correct that.
Yes, I wanted to. I mean, my prompt says Amsterdam. Why did I come with Rome? I apologize profusely for that one.
Okay. Okay, so like you said, we've been in the lifestyle for just over 15 years and started off as many others where we started talking about having a threesome. My husband was more into having a threesome than I was at that point in time.
Normally
That
is, right?
convinced me really quickly. And so our journey started.
That's amazing. And I mean, this was 15 years ago. Was this before or after you had kids?
This was way before we had kids. Long
Is it?
before we had kids.
And I mean, that continued throughout, you know, having kids. I love the fact that you added in your bio that you are, you know, the normal woman that you would walk past in the shop, the normal woman that drops her kids at the school,
I look no different to anyone else.
right? That's amazing. Let's see if we can hear James now. James, now, maybe it's your earphones because you didn't have your earphones in earlier. Let's take those earphones out and try then. No. Wow, this is a bugger up. Okay, he says 1 second. Look, it's going to be fine. We're going to get through it. So, Miss P, tell us a little bit about the trials and tribulations that you and your husband faced. Because in your bio, you say so eloquently, you say, we've made mistakes, but we've learned from them. in during the course of this journey. So tell us a little bit about these mistakes, because look, this whole segment is for the listeners to learn, right? And that's the point about making mistakes. We want to learn from them. We also want the listeners to learn from our mistakes, right? So if you're comfortable with that, I'd love to hear some of the mistakes that you guys made and how you would have corrected them had you been given a second chance.
Okay, so I think one of the biggest mistakes we made from the beginning was that we discussed entering the lifestyle, having a threesome and everything, but we didn't really communicate what we wanted. It's easy to turn around and say that, oh, let's have a threesome. What do you think about that? And you're all excited. It's a new adventure, but you don't really communicate. So you don't say to each other, listen, okay, yes, I'm happy to have a threesome, but this is going to put me off. Or you need to talk, you need to communicate with each other by saying, like, this is what I would be able to do, and this is what would be a very, like, a hard no for me. And the rules that came along, when we started off, we had our rules that we set before, entering into the lifestyle, but it was very simple rules. I think we had like two, and that was, protection always, and we would never take one for the team, which, if you think about it, it's very little. And over the years, we've adjusted those rules and added on to them until where we are today, where we know exactly, well, I'm not going to approach him and say, listen, I want to do XYZ, when I know he's not going to approve of it. So you get to learn to know each other, but the only way you do that is by communicating and setting your rules.
Of course. Explain the term hot wife to me. But okay, before we do that, hi James. We still can't hear you. What have you done? You've broken it. You really He's gonna throw something. I still can't hear you through the video though. You know what I'm gonna do? Okay. I think maybe keep your earphones, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask you to unmute your video. Okay, James, if you can unmute your video, and then keep your earphones in so that I don't get back feedback. Maybe that'll work. Okay, let's try. Let's try. We can only but try. And then I need to put my computer sound on. Hold on. Let's do that too. So, stop muting us, Mr. James. Everybody wants to hear Mr. James's voice. Everybody loves the James voice. Okay, but your video is still muted, Mr. James. This is the cutest. Also, I must say, it's the first time that they are co-hosting, that Mr. and Mrs. Twosome are co-hosting remotely. Hi, Mr. James, can you hear me?
I can see you, but I can hear you perfectly.
We can hear you now too. So here's what we're going to do, right? We are going to move this mic all the way down to my computer sound. If the production manager, Medusa, can just please tell us what the sound sounds like, I would appreciate the crap out of that. In the meantime, yeah, let's do sound.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hello.
Let's do that. Medusa, how's that sound from James's side? James, talk fast.
Medusa, can you hear me?
Speak up a bit.
No, I'm going to have to come really close. How's this? Better?
All the way. Come all the way. What I'm going to do in the meantime is I'm going to improvise a strategy for fixing all of our fuck-ups while we're on air. This is the most fun that I've ever had. Look at that. Okay, but while I'm busy doing this, I'm going to ask the PsycHOTic hot wife to tell us a little bit about what exactly a hot wife is.
Okay, so a hot wife. That is where my husband is my stag, and he enjoys seeing me with other men. So he would sit back and allow me to have a play session with another guy where he just watches. And he finds enjoyment in that. That is what turns him on, is watching me get this.
A question, Miss P. Men as in plural or guys in general, one at a time?
At this point in time, we've only had guys one at a time. However, we have been in a situation where there were a few men involved.
Okay.
But it's
And which is your favorite?
majority at this point in time, just one man at a time.
All right.
I mean, James is all about the gangbang. I can just see where this is going. This is so typical.
Lola, I think you know me too well.
It's definitely not off the cards. We just haven't found the correct partners to do that with.
So, okay.
But I mean, it's an adventure, so.
A very big adventure.
So what exactly is a stag?
A stag is husband to the hot wife. That would be my partner. Whether I was a hot wife or a vixen, he is my stag. So he is not a single in the lifestyle. My husband's not a pure stag.
What does that mean?
Excuse me?
What does that mean?
So a pure stag is a male that is only devoted to you. So they would enjoy, or they would join in the play, but they will not touch anybody else and they will not play with anybody else. They will only be devoted to you. Where my husband's not that.
Okay, so your husband likes to play a little bit too.
A lot.
Can completely relate.
Okay, but what makes you guys different? What makes your stag and vixen relationship then different from a normal swingers relationship? Because if both of you guys play,
because sometimes we play together and sometimes we play separate. We don't just swing in the same room with couples.
okay, I get that. Yes. I get that. Okay, Mr. James, are you okay there? Have you?
Yeah, I'm trying to take all of this in.
Okay, brilliant. So Miss P, tell us a little bit about what you feel is adequate advice for our vanilla friends, right? Going into the lifestyle. What is adequate advice? What advice would you have liked to receive when you started out so that you didn't make the mistakes that you made?
You know, when I started this whole new venture with the blog and everything, I had a look on the internet and I try to find research on, if you're a newbie in the lifestyle, what advice there would be and everything. And there's not really anything in South Africa relating to that. There's a lot of articles for overseas and that, but they work things different. We are a completely different culture this side. And if I had that information back then, I think our whole lifestyle would have turned out differently. So advice I would give people is, when you decide to enter the lifestyle, make sure it's for the correct reasons. Don't try and, go into the lifestyle to save your marriage or save a relationship. Have that, communicate that with your partner that you're doing this for the correct reasons. And, once you've established that, you need to let your partner know, but this is what I want out of the lifestyle. What is it that you would like out of the lifestyle? And come to terms and work on your boundaries, set your rules. And I'm going to say this a lot, but for me, communication and rules are very, very vital and very, it's key. Because if you get those wrong, it's going to influence how you enter into the lifestyle.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so I would just say, put some time aside, depending on who is the person that is bringing up that, they want to have a threesome, or, some couples skip that part and they want to go straight to couple swapping. Find a time where you are alone, whether you have kids or not. Make it a date night, and just for as long as it's needed, just discuss. Listen, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to go into, and don't go in with any expectations. Don't say, oh, we're going to go to a club tonight. We are going to pick up another girl. We're going to go to a room. Don't do that. You're going to set yourself up for disappointment. Just go and see what it's like. You don't necessarily have to play with anyone, that first time you go to a club or you join a swingers website. Talk to people, learn what their rules are, explore what is available. And once you've done that, sit again and discuss, oh, I like this, or I didn't like this. Adjust your rules. And then from there, you just grow. And, every time you do come across something that you don't like, don't be afraid to say to your partner, listen, I didn't like this, or I didn't like when you kissed that person. Let's rather change it to say no kissing. It's difficult to say no kissing, I'll be honest there, because it's part of us. We like to kiss, we like to touch. But also, by saying that, if your partner does turn around, and I'm using kissing as an example, and they say, listen, I don't like it when you kiss someone else, respect them in that, and don't push their boundaries, and don't force them to go against something they don't want to do. So if you look back and, someone had told you this, you wouldn't have walked into it blindly. You would have been a little bit more prepared and known what to expect. Then,
Absolutely. I agree with that.
Also, I mean, you're embarking on this as an adventure as a couple, and as a couple, you want to grow out of it. So you've got to be in tune with each other's desires and feelings on the whole subject.
Yes, that's absolutely correct. It's at the end of the day, you as a couple need to grow together. As soon as you're going to start hiding things from your couple, I'm sorry. When you start hiding things from your partner, it's going to cause problems in your relationship. So from the start, just be honest, communicate what is wrong, and get to a point where you can resolve it and move along.
Look, I think
Lola, forgive me for a second. I just want to try and change my earpiece here and see if this makes a difference. Can you give me 2 seconds?
Go for it. I've got a question in any case. You do you, boo. Okay. We'll be here. I think a lot about, if you take a look at communication overall, right, it's got a lot to do with your communication is going to be your negotiation, right? When you communicate with your partner, it's going to set up that negotiation, because the whole aim of tonight's episode is setting up your framework, your ethical non-monogamous framework, okay? What is your relationship framework going to look like? This is why we're swinging back to the start. Because you can't just start swinging in the middle of fuckery, okay? You're gonna ruin your relationship. We know this, okay? So now we're swinging back to start. We are setting up your framework, okay? And I hear communication so much from you, and I love that, because communication is when you start communicating with your partner, and when you start discussing what your what your likes and dislikes are, what you're approving of and what you're disapproving of. This is where we are setting up our negotiations, right? Because this is us negotiating what our terms and conditions are going to look like. And this is what I loved about your blog. When I saw your blog the first time, I had to have you, because your blog was all about rules, okay? And rules is going to make up your negotiations. Your negotiations is going to be full of rules. It's the swingers call it rules. King community calls it negotiations. It's the same thing. We just got to give it a name. So it's all about setting up that framework and making sure that you're negotiating what your ethical framework is going to look like, what your relationship is going to look like. Because Mr. Twosome and Mr. and Mrs. Twosome, Debbie and James, their framework is going to look different from yours. Other swinging couple is going to look different from the two of you, right? Because there's different negotiations, there's different consent being, given to one another, and it all still falls part under the ethical non-monogamous umbrella. So I love the fact that you keep on coming back to communication. When we negotiate our contract, what other forms are important to note?
Sorry, just say that again.
When we come back to negotiating our framework, what other points are important to note?
So when you go back and you're busy talking to your partner, set out, like, a lot of couples discuss threesomes as a starting point. And it's quite normal. That's how the lifestyle works. Majority of people go threesomes with female, male, and then they would go over to couples and that. But discuss that. Decide, how far do we actually want to go in the lifestyle? Determine that early on, so that there's no expectations from your partner that, they want to go and do couple swapping and you don't. So discuss that. I mean, it will change at some point, or it might not. It all depends on the couple that you are.
And I mean, you can always renegotiate, right? So say, for instance, you've started with a threesome. So you enjoyed the threesome, everything's going well, you liked it, your partner liked it. Maybe, for instance, just you and the lady had something to do with one another, right? Next time you said to your partner, you know what, I kind of feel comfortable with this girl. Or with maybe the next girl, right? I kind of want you to have a little bit of a taste of this, right? So why don't you come on in and join us? Okay. So now this it becomes a full-on threesome, right? Where it's not just a bi experience. Then after that, you can renegotiate and you can change that framework again. I mean, James, don't you think the framework keeps on changing? Now you've muted your video again. I'm sorry. This is hilarious. We are going to iron out all of these kinks. I mean, everything was fine in soundcheck, right? Must be everything was fine. It was perfect in soundcheck. There we go. You're back.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Holy shit.
I mean, we like the front, but we like the back too. We like both sides.
Okay, so to answer your question then, when Debbie and I got into the lifestyle, our motive for getting in was outcomes based. So we had a predetermined set of outcomes that we wanted to achieve by getting into the lifestyle. And what we believed was our original set of outcomes changed and developed after just about every single experience and every single encounter that we had. So we would go into an encounter with a predetermined set of values and objectives and outcomes that we wanted, and that would happen, and the play would be great but not amazing, so we would tweak it, and then we'd sit down and dissect what happened that evening and go through what I enjoyed, what she enjoyed, what I didn't enjoy, what she didn't enjoy, and then we would tailor each outcome going forward based on the previous encounter that we had. And so over the years, we've kind of honed our expectations and our play dates are a lot more rewarding as a result. A lot of the stuff that we thought was important in the beginning now doesn't feature as much and doesn't hold as much prominence for us as being important as it did 9 years ago.
That makes sense. Okay, I've changed my mic up a little bit now as well. let's see if we can listen. I mean, we're having a fabulous episode so far. I want to go to a slight commercial break, but when we come back, I want to discuss how do we consent? How do we consent in an ethical, non-monogamous relationship? I mean, consenting in the king term obviously means giving permission to your partner. So that's going to form part of setting up your framework, right? You need to give permission. If you don't have permission, aren't we cheating? I don't know. Maybe not. We'll find out after the commercial break. We are joined on air this evening by Miss P, the PsycHOTic hot wife. She has been a hot wife for the past 15 years. She was an ordinary wife turned swinger with 15 years of experience. And as an ambassador of Club Amsterdam, she's gained invaluable insights on how to swing successfully. She's the girl next door, the lady you walk past in the mall, the mother picking up her girls at school or her kids at school. Why I keep on putting in words here? This is a night. I'm sorry. This is a night. If this is going to set the tone for the rest of this week, I've got 2 more episodes and I can't handle this fuckery, right? So we got to make a plan here. Lola, you got to start focusing. She's the girl next door, the lady you walk past in the mall. She's the mother picking up her kids at school, but she also has a naughty little secret. She is a PsycHOTic hot wife. And we will discuss more on her and how to consent within your ethical non-monogamous relationship when we come back after this commercial break.
Are you interested in warming things up in the bedroom? Kinky candles are blended wax play candles. Our candles are carefully designed and fragranced with an aphrodisiac to ensure your pleasure is taken to new temperatures. To get started with a drip, drop, splat, or pour, give us a call. 079 461 6001. That's Kinky Candles on 079 461 6001.
Sometimes we're looking for the more, but we just don't know what the more is. And then we come to play with me. 3 words, like me, play, toys, fun, games, cheekiness, with, intimacy, connection, relationships, and finally me. It starts with self, and that is something that Play With Me stands for. Play With Me is a place where you have an experience of all of those things. One complete cycle. You're welcome to pop in at our shop at the Gantry in Fourways, or find us at www.playwithme.co.za. If you're looking for that more, please get in touch.
We can fight our desires. But when we start making fires, we get ever so hot. Whether we like it or not. They say we can love who we just. But what is love without lust? Two hearts with accurate devotions. What are feelings without emotions? I'm going in for the kill. I'm doing it for a thrill. Oh, I'm hoping you will understand. And now let go of my hand. And now let go of my hand. And now let go of my I'm going in for the kill. I'm doing it for a thrill. Oh, I'm hoping you will understand. And now let go of my hand. I'm going in for the kill. I'm doing it for a thrill. Oh, I'm hoping you will understand. And now let go of my hand. I hang my hopes out on the line. Will they be ready for you in time? If you leave them out too long, they'll be withered by the sun. Full stops and exclamation marks. My words stumble before I start. How far can you send emotions? Can this reach across the ocean? I'm going in for the kill. I'm doing it for a thrill. Oh, I'm hoping you will understand. And now let go of my in for the kill. I'm doing it for a thrill. Oh, I'm hoping you will
Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Doesn't that song get me just every time? I know a couple of you were raving about it in the chat right now. Yes, Lola loves it as much as you do, Lustfuls. It is a stellar song. We love it. And it is also the production song for the season. I mean, we're busy working on getting somebody to sing it for us. I wonder if somebody can come and sing it for us live on here. That would be a jam, wouldn't you say, James? Wouldn't you say, James? Okay, switching back to how it was. mean, we thought we figured it out, but apparently we didn't. Apparently it wasn't. You see, you were saying it was you, because I sent you the WhatsApp link, but it wasn't me.
Okay, we're gonna have to do it old school.
Yeah, we'll do it old school. Hold on, let me just put the bass up and the treble down. And then, I mean, we're killing it so far. Wouldn't you say?
And I'll lean in right and close here.
Yeah, you leaning closer. I'll leaning closer. How's that? Good. Okay.
Perfect.
Brilliant. So we are joined this evening by the girl next door, the lady you walk past in the mall, the mother picking up her kids at school, but she's also got a naughty little secret. She is the PsycHOTic wife. Also, PsycHOTic is spelled with HOT being like caps. That's actually the PsycHOTic hot wife. She is an Amsterdam ambassador and gained invaluable insights on how to swing successfully in her 15 years of being in the lifestyle. Welcome back, Miss P. Welcome back, James. I mean, hopefully we'll have better luck next time. Are you guys having fun on air so far this evening? I mean, it's been...
Most definitely.
This is thrilling.
Listen to the lies.
That's live radio without some technical issues.
What's live radio without some technical issues? Exactly. That's the spirit to have, you see. So before the break, we were talking about how the PsycHOTic hot wife, Miss P, came about going into the lifestyle, a little bit about her journey in the lifestyle, a little bit about her trials and tribulations. She's looking very naughty on the video call, I must say. Like, she's biting that finger. That's a Lola move, by the way. I always bite my fingers. I'm like, I know James is probably drooling right now. James, can you just wipe there for a minute?
My video is not working.
Is your video not working? Shame! You don't get to see what I see. Oh la la! You would listen. You would be happy. Gorgeous.
It's all good.
Gorgeous lady on air with us this evening. So before the break, we were chatting a little bit about how to set up your ethical non-monogamous framework, right? And I want to talk about consenting. Okay, we call it consenting in the King community, but the lifestylers call it giving permission. You don't have permission to sleep with her. You don't have permission to kiss him. Like, what is permission? And how do we navigate around this? Because it's important. If you don't, I firmly, in my practice as an intimacy coach, I firmly believe that if you don't have permission, you're cheating.
And also, permission can never be applied. It needs to be gained.
Permission needs to be gained.
Yeah, you can't. The permission is not implied. So I mean, you could go into an encounter and believe that the rules are A, B, C, D, but if you haven't concluded those properly, it can leave things open-ended and can leave that evening being quite disastrous.
I completely agree with that, Jess. James, are you talking to us with earphones in on the video call?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I think let's get rid of those earphones as well, because that's also not doing you any favors.
Okay, now I can't hear anything.
Now you can't hear anything. No, but you need to take it out. You need to take it out of the phone too, Poopall.
Let's try now.
Look at this thing, like it's zooming into his ear.
Okay, I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay, that's fine. Okay, let's just keep it like that.
Perfect.
Okay, so yes, I completely agree with what James just said. You know, it's not necessarily going to work if you haven't got it set up going into an evening, for that matter.
Sorry, I'm getting feedback now. This is fun.
This is fine. Okay, maybe we gotta have the earphones in. Sorry, I tried it didn't work. We'll have to keep.
Dr. M felt a couple of episodes ago when Dr. M was having challenges with.
And it will happen when you are on here, right? I mean,
so to go back to what I was saying earlier on, he was talking about the kissing part. So a couple that's in a monogamous relationship that's thinking about getting into something that's ethical and non-monogamous might not even another couple that they are chatting to have a rule of no kissing. Do I need earphones back?
Yeah, I think so.
Better that way.
There we go. Okay, James, can you just give us a test there? Okay, I think the problem is on my side. Okay, now talk. Just continue talking because it's the wire is stuck. Give me a second.
Hello?
Just continue talking. I'm gonna cut all of this out of the recording, I promise.
The good news is the video has come back.
Okay, great. So, hello? Can you hear?
I can hear, but you need to move a little bit to the right.
To the right. Oh, you dirty old bastard! Okay. Okay. And we're back. I mean, I'm just gonna.
All right.
I'm holding a wire for the rest of the episode. I'm holding a wire.
The view is spectacular, just by the way.
Oh, thank you. Okay, let's get back to it. I agree 100% with what James was saying, SP, and I want to hear from you as well. What does consent look like in your relationship?
Me and my husband, it has
Yes.
evolved so much.
Oh, really?
When we started, especially with me, it was a thing of you need consent for absolutely everything. You want to touch, you have to ask me. If you want to kiss, you have to ask me. But now it's like there's only one thing I want consent, and that is if you are going to go to a room with someone, you need to come speak to me first. I need to know where you are. But other than that, we have evolved so much that I don't need consent from him, and he doesn't need consent from me to do anything else. But I love the subject, though.
And the relationship and the trust that you guys have built up as a couple has improved.
Yes, exactly. I know his boundaries. He knows my boundaries. So we're not going to push those boundaries. I'm not going to approach him and say, listen, I'm going to go kiss this guy when I know he will be against it. So you get to know each other. And sorry, I love the subject about consent. I'm a firm believer in consent. But it amazes me because everyone has their different levels of consent, and that even changes. They might, going back to the kissing, where they consent, yes, you're allowed to kiss, and then that happens, and they're like, no, it's not working for me. Let's go back. We're not kissing anymore. And then the next time you see them, it's no, we're kissing again because we've now discussed it, and it's okay. But then there's also, I've met couples where they needed consent for touching, for kissing, but if they wanted to go to a room, it was okay. You don't need consent. So it really does become a thing of trust and being open with your partner. And I think the best part is when we talk about consent, that everyone is absolutely different in this. And you shouldn't assume that, if me and my partner give each other consent to kiss, that it will be okay for everybody else. you always need to check in with other people. You know, what are their rules, and are they okay with this? And you evolve. And there's another thing where I think James brought it up earlier, where let's say we've had a good night, and I'm thinking about, you know, right in the start, where we have consented to kissing, to touching, but if you wanted to do more than that, you need to check in with each other. And afterwards, we have this thing where we reconnect, which is very important to us. We check in afterwards. We check in with each other. You know, is everything still okay? Was there anything that upset you, or just getting a general idea of how the other one found the evening, and if there's anything that bothers them. And then again, you bring up consent, and what do you want to change? But I have to say that the longer you are in your lifestyle and the more trust you have in your partner, that consent becomes less important, because you don't see it as cheating. You don't see it as, oh, my partner went and I walked past them and they were kissing someone. Oh, they didn't ask me about it. You like walk past, smile, and kind of get a little bit of a kink yourself out of it and walk away. That again, that's as James said, it's trust, and it's something that you and your partner grow with over the years.
But I mean, from an outsider's perspective, if you would imagine that there's some vanillas listening to the show this evening, they are thinking that you must be crazy because you're talking about getting consent to kiss. I mean, these are swingers who, at the end of the day, are going to have intercourse with another person, either somebody that they've had intercourse with before or somebody that they're going to be having sexual intercourse with for the first time. What are these people talking about consent for kissing? So just to touch on that a little bit, it's happened in our relationship and on more than one occasion where that is one of the unbroken rules that a couple who is a lifestyle couple that are swingers, they kiss, the act of kiss, a very intimate, a very intimate thing shared only between the husband and wife. And that is one bound that they won't allow another couple to cross with them. And it comes down to respect. That's their desire. They don't want to be kissing other people. Her body is available to the other husband and his body is available to the other woman. But the mouth and the kissing, I would imagine that it's got to do a lot with the fact that during the wedding ceremony, a kiss seals the deal. I'm not sure that we don't exercise that, but we have had it in the past where there was an awkward moment because the kiss hadn't been consented to, and that couple wasn't happy about the fact that we hadn't checked that off our tick list at the beginning of the play date.
Sure. That's quite interesting because this is the second time now this evening that the kiss comes into play. I mean, you mentioned it earlier yourself, Miss P. What is it? I think let's talk about this because obviously it's an important factor. What exactly is it about the kiss that is so intimate that some people don't allow?
I think, and this comes from friends we've made in the lifestyle, and it's exactly like James said. They found it very intimate, and it was something they wanted to share with each other and not share with other people. And they tried this out, and after a while, they said it's part of them. They can't do the act without starting on kissing. But I suppose it's also a part where you want to keep something between yourself and your partner, and it's something you don't want to share with anybody else. Whether it is, like James said, about, when you get married and you kiss, whether it's that or for different reasons, I just think it's their way of saying, that is mine, I'm not sharing it. And that is okay. I mean, you don't need to follow majority or fall into a certain class. If you don't want to share that, that is okay. You don't need to.
Again, it comes down to what your framework looks like.
Exactly.
Exactly. Again, everybody's framework is gonna look different. Everybody's framework is gonna evolve at some point. This isn't a set frame that you're going to be living in and that you're going to be navigating amongst. Your framework is going to change as you evolve, as your partner evolves, and as your relationship evolves, as your intimacy evolves. And it's important to note that. It's important to know that it's not always going to be the same. And we got to keep on renegotiating for our framework to change. We got to keep on reconsenting for our framework to change, because what you're consenting for tonight, you're not going to be necessarily be consenting for tomorrow night. This is why we got to renegotiate and restructure our framework so that we can be ethical swingers. Otherwise, if we're not doing these things, we are not in ethical non-monogamous relationships.
In the 10 years that we've been in the lifestyle, we've interacted with a lot of couples, and I don't believe that Debbie and I have ever met a couple where their rules haven't evolved after at least 6 months of being in the lifestyle. They've all come in with a predetermined, preset value set that they want to abide by. And we've never ever met a couple who has confided in us that their entry requirements from years ago are exactly the same today as it was when they came into the lifestyle. Every one of the couples, and we've met, I want to say hundreds and hundreds of couples, each one of them have shared with us that their goals, ambitions, likes, dislikes have adapted, changed, grown, developed as their lifestyle adventures has grown and developed.
I almost want to ask if these hundreds and hundreds of couples, if all of them been I gotta ask. I mean, Miss P's laughing. I want to almost ask, have all of them been play couples?
No.
He reserves the right to the Fifth Amendment.
Just remember, we spend a lot of time at clubs, and a lot of our activities at the clubs are socialized.
I'm just teasing.
It's not to say that we go to the clubs only to hook up. I mean, if we've been to a club in the last 2 years, if we've been to 60 parties, we've probably hooked up 3 times, 4 times. It's not that we hook up a lot at parties. We go to parties mainly for the social aspect. If there's a sexy couple and we're all feeling the vibe and we decide that we're going to hook up, then it's game on. But no, when I refer specifically to hundreds and hundreds of couples, it's not hundreds and hundreds of couples that we've shagged. It's couples that we've interacted with, Lola. Carry your dirty mind.
I'm just teasing. Miss P is laughing her head off on the other side. She's going like, this woman has fuck all filters, we know this.
I was actually just thinking, there is this big perception that if you are at the club scene a lot, you have to be extremely active in the lifestyle, and it's simply not that true.
Correct. Yeah.
I mean, my husband and I went through a period of a year where we were at Club Amsterdam every single weekend. I mean, that's a lot of weekends. But I think I can count on my 2 hands the amount of experiences we've had in all that time. So you're there to social, and it's you get to a point, especially if you've been in the lifestyle for such a long time, that you actually struggle to have normal socials with vanilla people. So you'd rather end up spending that time with people in the lifestyle because you have absolutely nothing to hide from them. If I want to walk past my friend's husband and say, oh, he looks hot today, or he wants to touch my ass, it's okay.
You can say ass.
You can't do that with vanilla bride.
No, yeah, you guys. I think it's also because we're in alignment, right? Our current life situations are in alignment, and that makes these people easier to be around. Also, the non-judgmental factor. I have never found another community who is less prone to judgment as the swingers community.
Agreed. Totally agree.
So, I mean, that also makes it easier to spend time with swinger friends as opposed to vanilla friends. Because what are you really going to talk to your vanilla friends about that you can't talk to your swinger friends about? And how much are you going to talk to your swingers friends about that you can't talk to your vanilla friends about? So, I mean, it's very understandable that your circle will change.
And it's also, you can be absolutely 100% yourself around people that are in
Authentic.
the lifestyle. So it just makes life so much easier.
So much easier. For our almost 2,000 live listeners this evening, we love the lot of you. It has been an amazing episode so far. We still got a couple of challenging. I mean, also, it's the first time that you and I are co-hosting together, so we got to be mindful that we are going to face some adversities.
We'll get through this, Lola. Never you mind.
We'll get through it. Next week, I'm with Miss Tussim, right? Mrs. Tussim.
Yes.
Maybe I won't have any issues then.
Is my camera still on?
Yes.
Okay, then I won't do what I want to do.
I love you, James. I promise.
I love you too, Lola.
I promise. It's been troublesome, and I promise, Miss P, we aren't normally this like deur mekaar and gerattel and gevongvaai. Normally we're very professional. Like this production, I just got the biggest message from the production manager. She's going, Lola, what the fuck is going on? I'm going, I don't know. And also, I misread her prompts that she sent me because she types out my prompts, right? And she's going, do you want to correct yourself? So I'm also in trouble. But I have had the most amount of fun this evening. Look, I think we had valuable information to share with the listeners this evening. Guys, remember, your ethical non-monogamous framework is going to be very important if you want to embark on a swingers journey. Setting up a space for negotiation within your relationship is imperative to a successful relationship in ethical non-monogamous. As an ethical non-monogamous couple, making sure you are not just consenting within your relationship, but being a self-consenting adult, having autonomy, being made aware that you've got autonomy and you need to take accountability for the amounts of consent that you give is going to be imperative for making this journey successful. And remember, it's also not just your life that you are going to be messing around in, but possibly everybody that you're going to be interacting with as well as your partner's life. So let's make sure that we're ethical swingers. If we're not ethical swingers, let's just stay vanilla, because vanilla sex can be fun too, right? From myself and my lovely co-host this evening, Mr. James.
Sorry about the technical difficulties, everybody. We're going to be working on it hard in the week and make sure that it doesn't happen again. Thank you for sticking through with us.
I'm just going to giggle the shit out of all of it. This has been fun. To all of our live listeners, what can you guys expect going ahead this week? Oh, guys, we've got an exciting week planned for you. On Friday night with Miss Carmen Ellie. Hello, Carms, I can see you there. Before we go further, let's give a couple of shout outs to the regular live listeners. Queen, I see you here, honey. Hello and welcome. I see a bunch of new names in the room this evening on the Podbean room. It's been amazing having you guys here. Thank you so much for joining us. I mean, Ricolas says we've got amazing music. So that's great to hear. We love the music too. We music people, yeah. That's why we've got a live FM too. To all of our regular listeners, it's great to see you guys here. Thank you for coming. Thank you for listening. On Friday night with Miss Carmen Eddy, we are doing Kiss My Kiwi. Yes, babies. We are going to be teaching y'all how to properly lick that guava. It's going to be a good one. Listen, the week after that, we're doing the lollipop lesson. And we all know Lola loves the lollipop lessons. So you guys got to be tuned for those ones, right? On Saturday night, we have got kinky classes with how do you get out of any Oral dilemma. Yes, with Lola and Carmen, you're going to learn how to get out of any oral dilemma, right? And it's not talking your way out of it, honeys. This is going to be eating your way out of it. Listen, on Saturday night, we are doing Top or Bottom, the Misunderstood Missionary, with my gorgeous co-host, the Baroness, from all the way from Cape Town. Are you a top or a bottom in your kink relationships? That's kinky classes Saturday night, 9 p.m. and Lola's lessons Friday night at 9 p.m. Don't miss it, guys. Miss it and miss out. Next week on Lifestyle Lectures, we have an exciting one for you. Picture perfect planning. We are going to be setting up your contract. How are we vetting? How are we checking? And what is the amendments and privacy rules and regulations within ethical non-monogamous relationships? That is going to be a fun one. And I see I see the PsycHOTic Wife giving me a frown. What does that all mean? Tune in and come and learn. It's going to be a great one. From myself and James, good night, James. Have a lovely evening.
Good night, Lola.
Thank you very much.
Good night, Miss P.
Thank you very much, Miss P, for joining us this evening. It has been an absolute pleasure having you on. Thank you for teaching us and our listeners a bunch of valuable things.
Thank you for having me. It was fun.
We'll hope to see you back soon.
Hope so.
And on that, guys, good night. Be well. See you later.